Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. This is our second video for Family 3 of Algebra 1 Goal 3. The last video we were talking about the graphs themselves and how you get used to reading and graphing them. And now I want to talk about visually, mostly how you pull information from your graph, and then a little bit about making a graph given a function. All three of these topics that are highlighted are DSA topics, meaning they are all on your chapter tests. So you want to be very careful of those. DSA, and still I can't manage to type because Ms. Dubois can't spell to save her life. I'm sorry, Ms. Leavenworth. Okay, so first things first, I want to start with the one that I tend to get the most questions on. Okay, I'm going to zoom in just a little bit so we can read these a little bit better. See if I can get two in one go. There we go. All right. When you're looking at the problem, you can kind of see that the setup for these things are different. You have one where, let me make my brush a little smaller, where your number you're looking for is on the inside, and then one where the number that you're looking for is on the outside. So when you hear me talking about this, you're going to hear me say the words inside and outside to get you guys comfortable outside. Oh my Lord. Outside. So to make sure that we understand, inside is going to be our x. What do I mean when I say that? So when you have h of negative 4, that means they are telling you x equals negative 4. So x equals negative 4, negative 4. There's negative 4 right there. So I'm looking somewhere here on this line, this purple line, where in God's green earth is the function? Where's the actual line? It's right there. Bold as obvious. That made no sense. What's my y? 5. So my answer for this particular box here is going to be 5. Next up, outside. If inside is my x, then outside is my y. So what does that mean? So here we have h of x equals negative 3. That means my y is negative 3. So that means I'm looking somewhere on this line. Okay, that's nice. Where is it on the graph? Right there. What's my x? Well, I don't move left or right at all, so what must be my number? 0. So in this case, my answer is going to be 0. It's a little hard to sort of explain it because they don't give you, when I'm doing my screen grabs, they don't give you your answer boxes. So let's shimmy over. Beep, 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 beep. A little more, Ms. Dubois. Beep. Not that far. Beep, beep. Okay, so what they're going to do in your answer box is they're going to have you f of x equals negative 4 is box. And then they'll find f of negative 2 is box. That's what you're looking for. Okay, so now that we're all set, let's see here. F of negative 2 is basically saying that my x is negative 2. So where's my x is negative 2? That's this line right here, all right? Where is it on the actual function? Right there. And what's my y? Negative 2. So negative 2 is going to go here, all right? Outside, my f of x equals negative 4. That's my outside, so I'm saying my y is negative 4. So y is negative 4. That is this line right here. And you can kind of see, I want to see if you can pick up on it, there is a trick here because you'll see it crosses at 2 points. It crosses here and here. So what you do then is a question mark, except not really. This is where Ms. Dubois, having been in this software for years, is at a disadvantage. I have had multiple students tell me that the software has since been upgraded and it does not matter which one you put. I can either put my X here or my X here. When I was doing this software, 4 or 5 years ago, there hadn't been a lot of patches to the software, and I was trained basically by the software to always pick your leftmost number. It should not matter, and in fact, many students have told me it does not matter. Just Ms. Dubois training, I'm always going to choose the left. So if this is the point where y equals negative 4, what's my x? Negative 3. And there's my answer box. So inside is your x, find your y. Outside is your y, find your x. That's what they're making you do. So now, last one to make sure we're good. We have g of x equals something, and then, no I don't. What do I do? We have g of x equals 2, which is something. And then we have g of -1 is something. There's our answer boxes. So g of 2, that's outside. So our outside number is going to be our y, which is 2. Okay, so y is 2. There, oops. There it is. It crosses in 2 places, and Ms. Dubois is trained to always look at the left number. So if that's the point that I like, what's my x? -2. All right. Next one, g is -1, so that's my inside. My inside is going to be my x. So if x is -1, and I look around, there's -1. Where does it cross the line? Right there. And what's my y? -4. So this topic actually isn't all that hard. What's the title of this topic? Finding inputs and outputs. This topic isn't all that hard. You're just getting used to how it's asking you the question. This is where the wording can be a little bit obnoxious, and you need to sort of take the time to parse it. And that's why you watch tutorial videos like this, because I did all the translating for you. Next one. Finding whether a function is increasing or decreasing given the constant. So again, we were talking about this in another video. You read a graph like you read words from left to right. So a graph, oops, excuse me, there's my straight line. If I read that going from left to right, that's going up, which means it's positive. If I read a graph like that, it's going down, which means it's negative. And then a flat line is constant because it is flat, meaning it does not change. So when we're looking at this from A to B, it's flat, which means it's constant. From B to C, I read from left to right, which means I'm going down, which means I am decreasing. From C to D, I changed gears. I go back up, which means I'm increasing. And then D is decreasing. This, for a DSA topic, most kids have told me, oh, miss, I know this. This isn't that bad. Again, A to B, I read from left to right. It's going up, which means it's increasing. Then it's flat, which means it's constant. Then from C to D, I'm going down, because that's what it looks like. And that means that I'm decreasing. And then from D to E, I'm going from left to right. It's going up, which means I am increasing. So that one wasn't that bad. That was kind of painless. Then the one where a lot of kids will look at this and say, Miss, I have no idea what's going on. And so allow me to help you. Get this all on the screen. All right, so there's 2 things that they're going to do. First thing that they are going to do is they're going to give you a little answer box where it says range equals, and then you kind of have to fill it in. I'm going to tell you right now, save yourself the trauma, give yourself some squiggle brackets. And I know that's a very difficult technical term, but these are squiggle brackets. Actually, the technical term is a set notation. But anyway, what we want to do, they give us the domain, and if we know from earlier topics, domain is your x, and then range is your y, okay? So they're giving you your x. So what they're telling me basically is x equals -1, 0, 1, and 2. Well, good gosh and golly gee, if they're giving me an x and then they give me a handy equation automatically, I know immediately what I'm going to be doing. What is 1 minus 3 times, what's the first number they give me? -1. That is 1, double negative is a positive, 3 times 1 is 3, what's 1 plus 3? 4. Okay, so far so good. Next, let's see if I can get my eraser here to do what I want. What do they tell us? What's the next number they give us? 0. 3 times 0 is 0, so 1 minus 0 is 1. All right, so far so good. What's the next number they give us? 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. What is 1 minus 3? 1 minus 3, I'm going backwards, so I'm going to be doing -2. All right, next up, oops, I erased too much. What's the last number they give us? A 2. So 3 times 2, I promise I knew what I was doing. No, you're laughing. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6. So what's 1 minus 6? -5. So that's how your first answer box is going. And then they're going to be expecting you to do some points on the graph. And you're wondering, wait, what? How do you plot 4? How do you plot 1? But what you're actually doing, they're tricking you because they're doing what they did up in here, where they give you half of an equation, or half of a coordinate, half of a coordinate, and now you've got to find the other half of the coordinate, which we just did. So what was our first number? -1. What was the answer we got? 4. A coordinate. So -1 and then up 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Next up, what did they give us? They gave us a 0. What answer did we get? 1. A coordinate. 0, 1. Okay. Next up, what did they give us? A 1. What answer did we get? A -2. A coordinate. So 1 and then -2. And then what's the last one? They give us a 2. What did we find? -5. 2, -5. That's what they're expecting you to do for this DSA topic. You go through the math to find your ranges, and then you match them up in order to make your graph. So let's do another example. So what do we have here? Give myself a little bit more space. Our range is going to be, and we need to remember our squiggle brackets, our set notation brackets, and now we're going to plug in. So 3 times -2 plus 2. And then it'll be 3 times -1 plus 2. And then it'll be 3 times 0 plus 2. 3 times 1 plus 2. And again, I'm pulling these different numbers in my parentheses from the list they physically gave me. So 3 times -2 is -6 plus 2, which is -4. That's my first number. Then 3 times -1 is -3 plus 2. That's -1. Okay, next 3 times 0 is 0 plus 2, which is 2. Ms. Dubois, pay attention, don't lose your focus. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. There's my list. And again, I'm taking these numbers and I'm visually matching them up in order to make my coordinates. So my first one is -2, and it matches to -4. My -1 matches to -1. My 0 matches to 2. And my 1 matches to 5. There's my list. So -2, 4, -2, 1, 2, down 1, 2, 3, 4. -1, -1, and then it's 0 and 2. And you can kind of see, you can kind of see the line that you're making, 1 and 5. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then it's, that's it. And then that is your complete list. So that is several topics that we've done now. We did it in record time. We're only not even at 15 minutes. That's good. There's, I think, 1, maybe 2 more families after this. And then you guys should have everything you need to finish Goal 3 of Algebra 1. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe.